In today's video, I'm going to be busting some of the myths that may be holding you back when it comes to achieving the level of health and fitness that you rightfully deserve. But first, I want to mention, if you are clueless about any of this, if you looked at the thumbnail in the video and you saw that, I've lost a total of 75 pounds, I've maintained that for close to 10 years now. This is a result that a lot of people want or say that they want. If you are frustrated by your lack of progress and you're searching for answers and you feel like you've tried everything and nothing works, I'm talking to you. If you're just a casual observer and you are just casually sipping on a 20-ounce Coca-Cola or some soda on a Wednesday afternoon, taking in 40 grams of high fructose corn syrup, you're not serious about change. I'm talking to people who are serious about change. One of my favorite scenes from the documentary Pumping Iron about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his bodybuilding, prowess, which is legendary, was when he was training legs with Ed Corney. They were doing breathing squats, heavy breathing squats, high rep sets. And Ed comes up and he's shaking and the plates are clanking and making this noise and he's screaming in agony. And Arnold looks at him and says, "Come on, let's get serious." Okay. That's the kind of attitude that it takes, because what you may have tried up until this point, maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you're believing some of these false principles. I'm going to go through a series of short videos here where I'm going to dispel some of the myths that may be holding you back. So stay tuned for that. Give us a like, subscribe, and a share or comment. Really helps the algorithm so we can help reach more people. Okay. This is something I feel passionate about, helping people in this area. I struggled in this area. If you're struggling in this area, I do have a plan that can help you. I've got an app that I've spent about a year customizing to run my workout programs, my meal plans, all the group support, and so much more. You can do that for $1 a day. It's a 90-day program. You must commit to a 3-month program, but it's $30 a month for 3 months. And I will give you a 7-day free trial. Check everything out, see if that's going to be to your liking, and then you sign up for the program. So comment below, send me a direct message, or visit direct.me/reshape and get all the information on how to get set up on that. All right. So number one myth I think that's holding a lot of people back is that when it comes to weight loss, is that it's all about calories. Okay. I don't want to completely ignore the fact that calories are a factor, but well, let me just say this. When I started my journey, the first thing I did was I just stopped having dessert. I stopped having ice cream for dessert. Okay. That's kind of a logical thing, just cleaning up my diet a little bit. But what I did was I substituted a protein shake instead of that ice cream. So on the surface, it seems like, ice cream is 300 calories, protein shake is 300 calories. What's the difference, right? What you have to understand is when it comes to winning long term in this game of fitness, weight loss, body composition, however you want to say that, it's going to be about getting more protein and nutrients and less calories. Okay. So that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Doesn't protein have calories, you may ask? Actually, no, it does not. The calorie values that were assigned to these various macronutrients happened back in the 1850s. Nutrition science was very primitive at that time. A device known as a bomb calorimeter had recently been invented that was to measure the amount of energy released when these various food substrates were set on fire. Okay, so if you set protein on fire, it releases 4 calories per gram, just like carbohydrate does. But that's not what happens to these things when you take them into your body. So that's where the whole calories and nutrients thing has really gotten skewed. So fortunately, people are coming around to that realization. If it were as simple as eat less calories, regardless of what they are, you could just eat a half a Kit Kat, and that would be the same as a protein bar. Expend more calories by any type of exercise, doesn't matter what kind it is, then this would be a simple game. We would just eat less, exercise more, and problem solved. Okay, take a look around. That's not what's been happening for the past few decades. A lot of it has to do with bad advice on nutrition, including the whole calories thing. Now, I may get some backlash in the comments here, but I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who had metabolic damage. I was obese my entire life, and I have since corrected the problem. I did not do it by forcing myself to eat smaller portions. I tried that. That didn't work very well. What really does work is supplying your body with the nutrients that it needs while limiting the dietary energy that you do not need. Your energy sources are fat and carbohydrate interchangeably. Those are types of energy. When you consume carbohydrate, you temporarily stop burning fat. Fat is your preferred form of fuel. That is your backup system. You're burning fat around the clock, even while you're asleep. When you take in carbohydrates, you stop burning fat. And it's not to say you're never going to eat carbohydrates, but the frequency and the amount is a huge factor, irrespective of the total calories. Calories from protein is not the same as calories from carbohydrate. End of sentence. Myth busted. I've tried it both ways. I've seen this happen with countless clients, and I can't tell you how many people are confused about this one little thing, that it's all about the number of calories that you consume and the calories that you expend. When you go into an energy deficit situation where you're eating less fat and carbohydrates, your body will try to conserve energy by causing you to lose muscle. That's one of the main mechanisms. The more muscle you have, the more energy you're burning around the clock. So, of course, that's expensive if there's a severe shortage coming in. So the way you get around all of that is by eating lower some days and higher amounts on other days, specifically carbohydrate. This is known as a cyclical ketogenic diet. That means you eat carbs on a cycle. Now, keto sounds great to the layperson who doesn't have the expertise or experience with this. Eat more fat and burn more fat, okay? If you're eating more fat than you're burning the dietary fat, not your body fat. You do still have to be in a caloric deficit situation. You can't just substitute fat for carbohydrate. Eating less carbs, eating more fat, that's the same amount of energy. Okay. The first modification that I've made to this whole thing is to make it higher in protein, moderate in fat, and very low in carbohydrates most days, punctuated by carb intake on the weekends, a couple of meals. So, what I do, my own personal numbers, 25 grams of carbs per day or less, 5 days a week, 250 grams a day or more, 2 days a week, not every meal, but a window on those 2 days. So it averages out to about 100 grams a day, which is still a moderate carbohydrate intake. So why don't I just eat 100 grams a day? That will not work, even though it's the same 700 grams, okay? So 2,800 calories, the same amount, lower on some days, higher on other days, is a factor. Meal timing is a factor. Composition is a factor. The amount of activity, the amount of muscle mass you have is a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that with what I've said today. I'll be back with another one of these videos. If you like this, comment below. And until next time, stay strong and enjoy the journey.